Hey guys, welcome back to Young Americans Abroad. My name is Austin.
And my name is Patrick.
And welcome to the show. Well, guys, it's great to be back to start a new season of our weekly reports. And, first and foremost, Pat, it's great to have you back with us. I know last week you had a little bit of, COVID, and it's good to hear that you're hanging in there and with us this week.
Yeah, good to be back. Apologize for the delay, everyone. The vaccine certainly helped there, but you just had a few off days there, and by that time it was too late. Already through the week, but really excited to be back at it. Feeling much better and ready to go, Austin.
Yeah, and it's great to be back too because we're starting our new season of our weekly reports, and we're kind of changing it up a little bit this year. So in the past we did a lot of player profiles for how they played this past game, looking ahead to some games coming up, things like that. But this year we're really going to focus more on topics pertaining to our young Americans abroad, and we hope this will help us keep things a little bit more short, more concise, and again, talk about the things you guys tune in each week to listen about. So we're excited to get this season started.
Great point, Austin. And yeah, like you said, so not just kind of player, right? We have these great topics to encompass some of our YAAs and to build up upon some of these exciting storylines that happen week in and week out. So we're excited for the new season here.
That's right. So I guess, Pat, do you want to get us started for today and talk about someone else who unfortunately got hit by the COVID bug?
Yeah, let's start it, Austin. And we're going to talk about Christian Pulisic and COVID. So, that storyline, coming out obviously last week there, definitely concerning, right, for a club and country with the qualifiers coming up. But I think it was 2 days before that win against Arsenal, Chelsea coach Thomas Tuchel came out and said that Christian tested positive for COVID-19. Pulisic had trained with the team that past Tuesday, but had been absent since. There's some questions, again, all the Twitter haters and things saying, oh, he's injured again, this and that, all talk, right? But unfortunately, tested positive for COVID. He has to isolate for 10 days, according to the British protocols there. But yeah, just unfortunate. And he did post, Austin, on his Instagram story, he was vaccinated, wasn't showing any of the symptoms, as we know. So, that's a plus. But yeah, just unfortunate for him to miss time, against the rivals there, Arsenal, and then just concerning, right, with the upcoming qualifiers.
Yeah, and you really said it best. Like, this is not a great time for him to be out, and obviously he can't help it. So there's no sense in harping on it anymore. But with the qualifiers coming up, like you said, we're gonna have three back to back in quick manner. And there's no telling right now if he's going to be ready to go for them. So you got that coupled with his Chelsea situation, right? So Romelu Lukaku was just signed, played fantastic against Arsenal. You also had some other players in competition for minutes with Pulisic playing well in that game. So just kind of brutal. It just seems like Christian can't get any luck going the past year or so at Chelsea. But hey, he had a great summer. He's a strong player. We know this. So
Exactly.
I think he's going to be back. And Pat, I'm curious to get your opinion too. But I really think if all things go well, he's still going to get called up to these World Cup qualifiers. Maybe he won't start that first one in El Salvador. Knowing him and his competitiveness, I think he's going to push as hard as he can. But I think, it's so important to him. And again, if things go well, I think he's really going to prioritize those games. And, we're going to see him back and kind of leading that team in a World Cup qualifying.
Yeah, I think so too, Austin. Yeah, it's just a very tight deadline, unique situation, with the protocols there and then flying, right, and playing in El Salvador, how all of those logistics will factor in. But yeah, if all goes well, with the testing, things like that, he's cleared, I think, the 30th or the 31st. He should be okay. But then, there's a time of, again, training on your own is different than kind of meeting up with the team and getting back into the flow of the games and things like that. So, I agree. I think we will see him. I'm feeling confident we will see him. Maybe he comes off the bench or maybe even starts. But we do have a string of games there. So if not the first, definitely the next couple if all things go well.
Yeah, and we play El Salvador on the 2nd, right, Pat? And then we play
Yeah.
Canada on the 5th. So when you talk about that game on the 5th, that's what, a little less than a week out from that date when he's supposed to be back and ready to play if things go well. So yeah, I think there's no reason not to call him up for all 3 games. If that first game he can't go in that, then that's one thing. But if we kind of don't call him up for all of them, then yeah, I think that's
Right.
only going to hurt us. So
Exactly.
yeah, so I guess we'll keep monitoring that situation. We'll get the information out to you as soon as we know. On Instagram, on Twitter. It sounds like the roster is going to be released on Thursday, so we should find out by then. And let's hope, fingers crossed, he's on that roster.
Crossed, baby.
So to move into our next topic today, we're going to talk about something that really just popped up this week, and that's the transfer rumors around Weston McKennie. So Weston was not in the Juventus team this past weekend, and there was a good reason for that. He actually accumulated too many yellow cards last season and was forced to miss the match this past weekend. So I saw a few people, freaking out on Twitter, getting worried, thinking that his time at Juventus was up, and that may be the case. I guess we'll find out here in the next few weeks. But for right now, that's not the reason, and that's not the case. So I guess with that, these rumors, I think there is some validity to them, Pat. It sounds like, kind of things are changing there. Juventus just brought in Manuel Locatelli, who's another holding midfielder, the same position that Weston plays, and they really like him. It sounds like he's going to be a starter for them this year. Max Allegri, the new coach who came in, seemed to really enjoy Weston's qualities and was really excited to work with him. Now it sounds like that's kind of cooled off. There's been some reports saying that he's kind of fallen out of favor, so to speak. So not sure how valid those reports are, but it's worth kind of putting out there. And Pat, this week we heard 3 teams interested in Weston. The first one being Bayern Munich, who reportedly are not interested anymore. So a lot changes within a week, basically due to his high wages, which is kind of funny because Bayern pay, a lot of players high wages, but, it is what it is. Then there's also Tottenham, which in my opinion, Pat, is a really interesting move. They got some really talented players. It sounds like Harry Kane's going to stay there. Christian Romero, who was, fantastic in Serie A as a center back last year, just moved there. Obviously it's in the Premier League, which, Josh Sargent just moved to the Premier League. We have Zach Steffen, Christian Pulisic. So it'd be cool to see another American in the Premier League. But we also have, Aston Villa interested in him as well. A team that's got some decent players themselves, but, really isn't that consistent team that we're looking for, a team that's really challenging for Europe. So, yeah, I guess, those are the rumors right now. That's kind of where they stand. There hasn't been too much traction for, really one team. So I kind of just want to get your thoughts, Pat. What do you think? How did we get here with Weston McKennie being rumored to go somewhere after just, joining Juventus last season? And I want to get your take. What do you think would be the best decision for him? Should he try and stay? Should he try and go? What do you think?
Yeah, it's so interesting. Obviously, Juventus had one of their worst seasons, you could say, in many years. There's a lot of players and rumors circulating from Ronaldo and that whole debacle and mess of the media. And then, have all these teams turn out like, Weston, like you said, it's changing so frequently. And who knows is reporting the Sun, the Mirror, who knows, the tabloids. But nonetheless, I think I feel like just it's such an interesting time with a new coach here, and obviously they didn't get off to the best start, with a draw. But I feel like Weston should really fight for his place there. He's a player that is so versatile and can help a team, and really, I think a player that can prove himself at this level, and then leapfrog and jump over some of the players there. So I think it's so early to tell and too early to say if he's not getting playing time in that next winter transfer window comes, maybe that's option to leave. But I feel like it's so early, and he did fairly well at last season, even throughout all the chaos and mess there, you could say, that Juve went through. But I also like Tottenham, like you said, Austin. I think that's a really intriguing move. A top team in the Premier League. Obviously, there's so much competition from top 6, 7, even more now, right? With Leicester adding, and even Aston Villa, who you mentioned, acquire great players. There's a lot of money in that league, and that league is becoming, not like the other ones where it's top heavy. There are some solid teams there in the top 10, you could even argue. So I want him to stick it out at Juventus for now to see how it goes, but I wouldn't hate the Tottenham links.
Yeah, see, that's kind of where I'm at too. Like the Tottenham rumor is really interesting to me, right? Because they made some good moves this summer. They're a team with a lot of money, so they're always going to be pushing for Europe. They're always going to be in that conversation. And the one thing that does give me a little concern with them is just the amount of midfielders they have right now. Right now, so they have Dele Alli, Pierre-Emile Højbjerg, Tengai Ndombele, which there's rumors that he would go
right. That direct swap.
Yeah, with Weston, so maybe he wouldn't be there. Giovanni Lo Celso, they just signed Brian Heel, which is, he kind of plays all over the place. So, yeah, I mean, the midfield there is a little crowded. It's a Premier League team, so he's going to be, getting consistent minutes, whether that's in training or in games, to continue to learn, continue to grow as a player. So, if he is in and out of the first team, then, or, in and out of the starting lineup, I should say, then, maybe it's not the end of the world, but I think the same could be said at Juventus, right? Like,
right. You can make the same point. Exactly.
Yeah, it's a top level team, man. It's a top level environment. You're learning from some of the best professionals around. And, I really think you saw the benefit of that this season, right? Like he had his best season to date and he was fantastic this summer for the USMNT. And I think that has to do with the environment he's been in the past year. So yeah, I'm kind of with you. I think, Tottenham's interesting, but not right now, right? Like, I really think he needs to stick it out. I think he needs to fight for his place. I think Max Allegri is a fantastic coach and someone that he could learn a lot from. And, I think, like you said, if it doesn't work out this fall, then maybe look again in the winter and,
right.
Really try and solidify a move that gets him those minutes leading up to the World Cup next winter.
Right. And not to harp too much, Austin, but just great points. And it's not like Juventus, and not to discredit anybody, but like we kind of mentioned, they've struggled, and they don't have. It's not like a a Man City loaded midfield. I think that he could easily step in and competition and knock somebody off. Take their starting role there. Again, they have good caliber, but it's not impossible to overtake.
And he can play so many positions too. So
exactly.
If someone gets injured right away, that's he could be a perfect fill in and get those minutes and show out right away.
Exactly. But on to shifting gears, I guess from the rumors to actual YAA transfers, Austin. Set in stones. We've had some exciting moves and maybe more down the line, but for now, we'll kind of start here with a pretty interesting move, honestly, for Owen Otasowie there. Who's on the move to Club Brugge, Ethan Horvath's old club there. So they signed a 4-year contract through June of 2025, and I think Wolves received a $4.7 million transfer fee there, US dollars. But really intriguing for the 20-year-old kind of versatile midfielder there, / center back maybe, but. Yeah, I'm very intrigued, Austin. They had a really cool, Bruges had a cool intro video for him, straight out of New York, showing off the classic Otasowie, flexes and things like that. So that was pretty hilarious. But no, I'm really excited. And just listening to some of the coaches, what their thoughts are on Owen there and how he's a very versatile young player who's sold on the project here at Bruges, and then even, him as a player to further develop. A Champions League regular, Austin, in the group stage, 4 of the last 5 Belgian league titles won. So they have some very good caliber players, and also some of those top teams in Belgium, right, have developed really great youth talents and prospects to go on to their further clubs and higher levels. So I think all in all, initially, from that face value or face level, right, it seems like a really great move.
Yeah, and Owen's a player that really needs to get, professional minutes, right? He's a player that's still kind of raw. He's, still trying to figure it out, get consistent. And I really just think moving to Bruges is such a great position for him, right? Belgium is a great league to develop in. He's going to be playing in the Champions League. So, the opportunity is there for him if he takes it, if he can get in that first team, really establish himself and, continue to get minutes. I think, again, the ceiling is his, to kind of make his own. So, I love this move. I think it's a phenomenal move, and I think it's one that's going to pay big dividends for us if, things go well. So,
yeah, couldn't agree more, Austin. And again, it's no easy task there. I mean, you've seen not to throw back Horvath, right, and some of the other players, but they're pretty ruthless. If you're not performing things like that, you're on the bench. So really exciting project there, and excited to see how Otasowie steps up to the challenge, because it's good timing, right, Austin? With the qualifiers coming up and the World Cup not too far away, if fingers crossed, if we get through.
Yes,
he needs to get a place where he's playing consistently. And like you mentioned there, he only had a handful of appearances, 5 or 6 in the Premier League, played a few of the, Carabao Cup, things like that. So this is a great move for playing time, Austin.
Yeah, and I think we got another player who moved, this past week as well that we should talk about too.
That's right. And he is the captain, the leader, Austin, of Chelsea's loan army, and that is Matt Miazga. So he's on the move again.
Matt Miazga.
Exactly. I like that. Add that to the shirt, new merch.
Yeah, right.
But yeah, he is 7th league stop, Austin. He's just seeing sights right now, on the move to La Liga, to Deportivo Alavez there on a year-long loan. With him also extending his contract with Chelsea through 2022 and 2023 seasons. So really intriguing to me. And he's even mentioned, Chelsea knows, he knows he wants something more permanent. He's getting older there, kind of the prime in the mid-high 20s, right, for age. So someone, somewhere where he's settled, right, and not just being loaned out constantly. But just to touch on Alavez a little bit, right, Austin? Last season, their campaign, they barely survived relegation. And 16th there, a very leaky defense with, I think, 57 goals or so allowed, which is the 3rd worst in the league. So not too great there. And most recently, before he came in the season opener, they did lose pretty brutally, giving up 4 goals, a 4-1 loss. So he does have, I think LaGuardia there and Lejeune, who was a former Newcastle man there, who Alavez was impressed with and signed permanently, as well as Taki's a 23-year-old who hasn't really featured much even last year. So it's really his for the taking, Austin. It'll be kind of intriguing how he matches up against a lot of solid competition in La Liga.
Yeah, and I think what really excited me about this move was this is the first time he's going to be in a top 5 league since his time with Nantes. So,
good point.
That didn't end so well, and you could really, point to a lot of different factors for why that was. But I really think that was a time in Matt Miazga's life that really challenged him and really kind of forced him to take a look at himself and almost humbled him, so to speak. So I really think this is going to be a move that kind of, ignites that fire in him again. It's really up to him to prove that he's up to, this top 5 league level, in my opinion. So, yeah, I think that's really exciting. I think it's something that, he's been working to get back to, right? Like he went to Reading, went to Anderlecht, which was a great place for him.
Yeah, Vincent Kompany.
Vincent Kompany. So, he learned a lot and has always been someone who, has that motivation. So I'm really curious to see kind of how this plays out this year. Because if he gets consistent minutes in La Liga and, Deportivo finish mid to high table, then that's great for us, especially going into the World Cup.
That's fantastic. The more the better. And like you said, just going back in that, one of the top leagues there, it'll be great kind of redemption there. And this might be a huge opportunity. Maybe he stays there, or a mid-table, higher-table team in La Liga might pick him up. That'd be exciting. And just want to quickly mention, Austin, games we have to tune to as fans, right? The rivalry. Diego Llanes there at Betis. And then, even against some of our YAA boys, right? You have, Dest and company there. So a lot of exciting, kind of La Liga action to take with Miazga joining the company.
Yeah, and La Liga is now on ESPN. So, hey, it's definitely more visible. So, yeah, that'll be fun to check out. So, yeah, no, I'm excited. I think it's a good move. I think both moves are really exciting. And like you said, I don't think those will be the last ones of this window. I think you may see Matt Hoppy move this week and, a few more. So we'll, definitely keep you guys locked into that and report on that next week. But, next we're going to move into our final topic for today, and that's talking a little bit about Joe Scally. So Joe Scally last week, we weren't able to record, so we wanted to touch on it a little bit. Had a great game against Bayern. Really just all-around great game. Defended well, got forward in attack, and really, caused Bayern a lot of problems. And, they ended up getting the draw last week, right, against Bayern. Gladbach, drew with them 1-1,
Right.
and it was fantastic. Everyone was, hype about Joe Scally, and we were all excited and thinking he's going to be, the best right back or left back in our pool.
Classic hype on social media.
Yeah, exactly. And hey, we were hyping him up a little bit too, but things changed this week a little bit, right, as they do, and he came back down to the ground, down to earth a little bit, and was part of Gladbach's 4-0 loss to Bayer Leverkusen. So, in this game, definitely not his best showing. Got beat for the second goal by Moussa Diaby, who, as we know, is a very pacey, fast, really talented winger. And it just that was kind of the theme all day, right? He was a little bit slow to react in a lot of different situations. That was again the theme of the day, in my opinion. He's still learning, obviously a young player, so it's going to happen. But it's just something to work on, right? So improving consistency. I think the tools are there, and we touched on this actually in our preview video. 5 USMNT players who we think are going to do well this year. Still think Joe's going to do well, but just some more to work on. Really improve that consistency. Was able to get forward decently well again in this game. Create a chance, and that's always good to see from your outside backs. But it's really just the microcosm of a young fullback learning and growing. It's going to happen. Growing pains. Yeah,
exactly, Austin. There's going to be ups and downs, and again, I think it's a great test to just go against pacey wingers and players of this caliber in the Bundesliga, and a huge step up for him, right? I mean, not so long ago, just part of the NYCFC Academy. So
he's younger than Gio Reyna. So it's crazy.
Exactly. Yeah. It's unbelievable, Austin. And so again, we got to kind of, ease kind of the high expectations, but also, keep the pressure on. I think it's great. It'll only improve your game too as a player. But again, against some of these CONCACAF opponents, where they, counter with quick, pacey attackers, this will be a great experience, I think, for him in terms of, relating it back to the U.S. Opponents there.
Yeah, and I think really, it was cool to see in this game. He played all 90 minutes, so he wasn't subbed off. It wasn't like he played so poorly that,
he was a Chelsea incident.
Yeah, it wasn't one of those incidents, which I think is good. And he actually moved over. I think he started the game out as left. I think at left back, and then moved over to right back at the end of the game. So again, you saw that flexibility, right? He can play multiple positions. I think that's really going to bode well for him this year. There was also an injury to Stefan Lehner, who's their main right back, the player that
so a left right back now.
Yeah, so there's some injuries there, right? So that's an opportunity for him to take and really cement his place there in that first team. And I really think he's just going to continue to get more minutes due to that, and really just work out some of the kinks, get a little bit better. And show people, that potential that we all, have seen he has. So, I guess with that, that's all for our show today. Now we're going to head over to Quick Kicks.
All right, guys, it's been a long time since I've said this. So excited. It's our favorite after so many seasons. I hope it's yours at this point. It's time for Quick Kicks.
So you could test Dwayne Miller. It's Altidore over the wall, and that one is in! Josie Altidore from a long way out. The opening goal for the United States.
So start Quick Kicks today. We have Tyler Adams, who started and played 90 minutes in Leipzig's 4-0 win over Stuttgart. And Pat, this was also a really interesting game too, because two American managers went head-to-head, and Jesse Marsch got his first Bundesliga win. So, congrats to him. Really cool moment, and hopefully we see more in the future.
Yeah, definitely congrats to Jesse and Tyler there. Shifting gears to France. So Conrad actually played the last 20 minutes as a sub, but the game was suspended with Nice fans, ultras, storming the pitch and throwing bottles. So no place for that in football there, and just terrible scenes. And hopefully they, stop doing that, because it has happened a few times now.
Yeah, and I thought it was quite interesting to see Conrad really just kind of be a figure in the background. He really didn't take part in anything. He kind of got away from it too. So you could see some maturity from him in his early years. So, going over to Germany now, we have Gio Reyna, who started and played 70 minutes for Dortmund in their 2-1 loss to Freiburg.
And heading over to the English Championship also with Anthony Robinson. Started and played the full 90 and got an assist in a 2-0 win versus Hull City.
Nice. And going to Austria, we have Brendan Aronson, who started and played 90 minutes for Salzburg in their 3-1 win this weekend. And, midweek, he also scored a goal to help, Salzburg gain a goal up in their, tie to get to the Champions League. So really looking forward to that second round this week, and hopefully he can help them, really qualify for it.
That's awesome. And shifting gears here to Timo Weah, our boy here, got the start again in 81 minutes. And a 1-1 draw for Lille against Saint Etienne.
Yeah, not the best start for Lille, but we kind of knew it was coming based on the moves this summer and, just the way things go sometimes. And going over to England, we have Josh Sargent. So Josh came on again as a sub, played the final 13 minutes for Norwich City, and that was in a 5-0 loss to Man City. So not a great start to the season for Norwich there. Really concerning in my opinion.
Yeah, it's getting progressively worse and worse. Not great. Hopefully Josh get more playing time. But, a Serie A debut for Tanner Tessman Austin for Venezia there. Came on in the 63rd and a 2-0 loss to Napoli. Solid team, but great to see him on the pitch.
Yeah, really good to see him get his debut. Hopefully we see Busio get on the field soon too. That would be great. And going over to Germany, we have Bayern Munich. So there's two players there we're going to talk about. And the first is Taylor Booth, who started for Bayern 2, scored a goal and had an assist in their 5-1 win this weekend. And then going to, the Bayern first team, Chris Richards actually subbed on, made his season debut, and played the final 2 minutes for Bayern in their 3-2 win over Köln. So good to see, our Bayern boys balling out a little bit.
That's right, Austin. Always good to see. And heading over to Denmark here with Emmanuel Sabi, scored a goal there in a pretty COVID-hit Brøndby squad and a 2-2 draw against the Dens. So great to see him on the score sheet.
Yeah, and Christian Kappas is actually one of those players with COVID right now. So, thinking about him, hoping he returns soon and everything's going well with him. So now going over to Portugal, we have Sebastian Soto, who scored a goal for Porto B in their 1-1 draw this weekend. So that was, Soto's first goal for them in actual play. So good to see him, scoring goals again.
Yeah, absolutely. And Luca de la Torre started and played the full 90 for Heracles in a 1-1 draw against Sparta and Rotterdam.
And going to England, we have our, exciting dual nat, triple nat player, Folarin Balogun, who subbed on and played the final 11 minutes for Arsenal in their 2-0 loss to Chelsea.
And in the English Championship, Ethan Horvath's teammate there, Alex Mighton, started and played the full 90 in a tough 1-0 loss.
And to finish the show today, to finish our quick kick segment, we're talking about a new player, and that's Sam Vines. So we're excited to actually talk about him now after he made the move to Royal Antwerp. And, this midweek, he actually started and played 90 minutes for Antwerp in their 4-2 loss to Ammonia Nicosia, a team from Cyprus. So hopefully they can, do better in the second leg there and rebound next week. So that's it for our show today, guys. Make sure you like this video and subscribe to our channel down below.
And don't forget, guys, social media content, right? Instagram, Twitter, always putting out some great news and info for you guys as we continue this exciting journey.
Yeah, and we also have our merch, up online right now. So check out that link down below. We got some, cool shirts we're wearing right now. And we're excited about what we got to offer.
That's right, Austin. And also some exciting news here with the World Cup qualifiers coming up, trying something new, getting more engagement with you YAA fans, right? We're going to do some exciting live streams there. So, tune in. I know some of the games are late there. Even if you can't watch it right after, you go react to it, watch the videos on YouTube. We'll be in the comments there interacting with you all.
Yeah, we should say we're going live after the game. So like Pat said, that first game was, a 10 o'clock start time. So we're going to be going live a little late for y'all. So like you also said, we're going to have them posted online as well after. So, we're going to try and answer as many questions if you join during the live session. And, if you see it afterwards, then, be sure to leave a comment and maybe we'll get to it the next stream. So
that's right.
Yeah. Exciting times, dude. Like, we're starting back up on our, YAA weekly report grind. And it's just fun. I'm excited.
Yeah, I'm excited too, Austin. It's fun with the grind, the season, the World Cup qualifiers. And we're getting closer, to the end of the year. And, that next year, hopefully we'll have a book our ticket And, one day, something will happen, Austin.
So we're going to Qatar. We're booking our tickets.
Booking the tickets right now.
No, I understand, Pat, because one day we will win the World Cup.